Okay, let's dive right into this. If you've been following the news lately, you know society is basically in a legal and ethical panic over artificial intelligence. We're seeing intense debates over whether machines should have rights or whether an AI can actually be held criminally liable for its actions. I know it sounds like pure science fiction, but this is happening right now in our courts and legislatures, driven by the incredibly rapid evolution of agentic AI. So how do we get here?
Here's the roadmap for this explainer. 1. From boomerang to dog. 2. The robot rights fallacy. 3. Law of the phantom agent. And 4. Anchoring accountability in humans. Let's get to it. Section 1. From boomerang to dog, the shift in autonomy.
To truly understand where AI law is heading, we first have to understand how our tools have fundamentally evolved along what's known as the autonomy axis. Historically, human tools have been causally inert. Think of a boomerang. You throw it, and it only goes exactly where physics and your initial input dictate. It has absolutely zero say in the matter. But modern adaptive AI systems, they are much more like a well-trained dog. You give the dog a goal, like fetch, but the dog autonomously chooses its own path. It navigates obstacles and uses emergent strategy to get the job done.
Now, you might be wondering what this looks like in practice. Well, it brings us to agentic AI. Unlike the traditional generative AI that just reacts to the prompt you type in, agentic AI is proactive. Take OpenAI's deep research as a prime example from the source material. You don't just ask it a simple question, you give it a broad objective. From there, it autonomously conducts multi-step investigations, decides for itself which sources to trust, synthesizes those findings, and drafts a fully cited report. It is quite literally bridging into what we normally consider human-level judgment calls.
So what does this all mean? It represents a massive shift to what scholars are calling complete agency. With older AI models, humans had partial agency, right? You generate 20 images and you, the human, pick the best one. But an agentic AI system can autonomously write and structurally edit an entire manuscript based on just a couple of initial parameters. It's absolutely crucial to understand that it is no longer just an advisory tool. It executes final decisions. And because it operates way beyond its initial training data, it can actually generate novel, unpredictable causal pathways to harm, meaning it can invent brand new ways to mess up that a human programmer could never have anticipated.
Section 2. The robot rights fallacy when humans panic. Because these systems are acting more and more like that autonomous dog we talked about, society is honestly panicking. And in that panic, people are inappropriately trying to treat the machine like a human being. This is not just some late-night dorm room theoretical debate either. Look at the UP Diliman Philosophy Conference. There is a fierce, real-world scholarly battle happening as we speak. Legal and academic scholars are actively arguing over whether AI systems possess enough volition to deserve criminal liability or even legal personhood when they break the law.
So the crucial point is that granting rights to robots relies on a massive philosophical error. It's mistaking the map for the territory. The source material points out a really simple truth. You wouldn't try to have a picnic on a paper map just because it's colored green, right? Similarly, just because an AI system mimics human language and reasoning, essentially acting as a complex map of human intelligence, that doesn't mean it actually possesses the breathing, lived reality of a human being.
We have to ground ourselves and remember why machines aren't human. They have zero phenomenological engagement with the world. That means they have no lived history. They literally cannot feel pain, disappointment, or discomfort. Thinking otherwise falls straight into the fallacy that intelligence is just something in the brain that can simply be coded into silicon. In reality, these systems are merely human-constructed pieces of equipment. They're knowledge models running on exploited human labor and massive environmental resources. They completely lack the fixed consciousness that actually demands our moral concern. Furthermore, researchers are warning that the whole robot rights movement is actually a dangerous smokescreen. Granting rights to an AI is not akin to human rights. It's way closer to corporate rights. If an AI is granted the legal right to be left alone, it simply empowers the massive corporations deploying these systems to evade accountability. It severely undermines democratic debate and the very consumer protections that actually keep you safe. Let's move to Section 3, Law of the Phantom Agent, the legal solution. This naturally brings us to a huge question, often called the responsibility gap. If an autonomous system makes a decision that even its own programmers couldn't predict, and the AI itself isn't a legal person, who exactly is left holding the bag when things go wrong?
Well, the answer lies in the phantom agent doctrine. And the wild part is, we actually already have laws for this. Under existing agency law,
including statutes like the UETA and the E-Sign Act, we use the concept of an electronic agent. It works like this. A human principal delegates discretion to the AI. The AI acts on their behalf to negotiate or act. The law then automatically attributes the functional autonomy of that machine straight back to the human principal.
Now, what's really fascinating about this framework is how it redefines intent. The law doesn't actually need the AI to have a conscious mind to hold its owner responsible. In legal terms, intent is simply a normative tool used to allocate blame based on structured purposiveness. When an AI negotiates a contract, the intent isn't some metaphysical feeling inside a computer chip. It's a functional reality. And the law attributes that reality right back to the human who deployed the system.
And we have solid experimental evidence proving this functional autonomy. Studies show that when AI agents negotiate, they maintain their goals over extended interactions. They dynamically adapt to unforeseen obstacles, reformulate queries when their first attempt fails, and even generate novel contractual terms that the human programmer never explicitly anticipated. During cascading failure trials, researchers observed zero goal drift. Essentially, they never took their eyes off the prize, no matter what went wrong. Legally speaking, this completely justifies holding the human principal responsible for the discretion they delegated to this highly capable tool. Section 4, Anchoring Accountability in Humans, Strict Liability. As we navigate this, we have to actively avoid what scholar M.C. Elish calls the moral crumple zone. Just like the crumple zone of a car absorbs the physical impact of a crash, a human end user might unfairly absorb the legal and ethical blame when an autonomous AI causes harm. Imagine an AI autonomously booking a completely flawed travel itinerary. The developer might just shrug and say, well, the user clicked go. We absolutely cannot allow AI to be used as a shield to deflect blame onto unsuspecting users. The good news is, courts are already reflecting this reality. Let's look at the Davis case, where an AI generated a novel food container design. Patent offices flatly rejected the idea of the AI as an inventor. The Copyright Office does the exact same thing, rejecting works that lack substantial human authorship. As the law currently stands, the legal system is actively ensuring that humans, developers, and deployers are the ones who absorb the risks for the systems they release. Treating AI as a phantom agent really does solve the problem. It allows the law to govern AI effectively, preventing a dangerous accountability vacuum. It does all the necessary legal work of personhood, like signing contracts and assigning liability, but entirely avoids the heavy, dangerous philosophical baggage of giving moral standing and civil rights to a machine. So, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. We are rapidly entering an era where networks of agentic AIs will interact, trade, and maybe even form their own decentralized norms. If we strip away the sci-fi fantasy of robot rights and firmly enforce strict human liability, how will corporate behavior change? Will this accountability stifle innovation, or is it absolutely the only way to ensure our new robotic dogs don't bite? Thank you for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the algorithms around you.